All right, everybody. Late game tonight against Fox Motors AAA. I've got the mic on this time. Hopefully everybody can hear me. We had, I'll just say, some technical difficulties last game. We played Fox Motors last spring. I think the last 2 springs, actually, they've hosted us for a showcase. Always a nice time going to Grand Rapids, and usually don't meet during the main part of the season, usually just in the spring. So let's see, who are we going to start out with here? We'll have Rick Harris and Matt. We will have Cam Combs and Thomas Volkevich at wing, Jack Myers at center, Luke Wolf and Jace Albert both at D. Alright, face-off win by Fox Motors. Toledo will get it in the zone and dumps it into the corner. And Myers has it, passes up to Volkevich, and Volkevich will dump it deep, go for a change. We've got Bomer and Hubbard in at D. That's offsides. Signs, Sorovi, and Luchansky up front. Kept in. Bomer goes behind the net to get it. Sorovi will chip it up out of the zone. That's going to go for icing. Do you want to toggle your timeout on and off? There you go. All right, we'll have Albert and Wolf in at D. We'll have Gentner at center with Russo and Lukes at wing. Albert reverses back to Wolf. Wolf up to Russo. Gentner gets it up to Lukes. And over to Russo. Tries to get through traffic. Rebound. Oh, that goes in. Russo kind of drove the net. Goalie flipped it out forward in front of him. And Gentner was there with the rebound. Kind of close by his feet. Nice shot to be able to lift that up and get a shot on net. Toledo takes the lead here. 1-0. All right, we'll bring in Bomer and Hubbard at D. We'll have Russo, Gentner, and Luke still at, up front. And the puck's dumped in by Gentner. And they get a problem with the scoreboard. They'll blow a whistle. We'll have face-off down in Fox Motors zone. Scoreboard's still not working. Like there was a game earlier before we had our first game where they couldn't get the scoreboard working either. All right, so we'll still have Bomer and Hubbard, Myers, Volkevich, and kept in at blue line by Bomer initially, and then pops out. Hubbard's back with it. Cleared out. Couple nice shots there from Fox Motors down low. All right, we get our D change out. We've got Wolf and Albert in at D. Still Cones, Luchansky, and Signs up front right now. Cones with the puck, takes it to the center. Ran out of time. Albert's up to Luchansky. Luchansky with the puck. It's picked from behind as he tries to shoot it. And Wolf with the puck. Signs has it. Dumps it in. Signs with a shot. Oh, just missed the top of the net there. Penalty coming up. We just touched it. I guess no possession. All right, now we get a whistle. All right, Signs will go to the box for a check. And we will be on the penalty kill. We've got Bomer and Hubbard, and at D, we've got Gentner and Russo up front. Trying to get the penalty up on the score clock. Technical difficulties here with the score clock. here we go. Bomer and Hubbard at D, Gentner and Russo up front. And Fox Motors gets possession. It wins the faceoff. Bomer gets a stick on that. There we go. Puck's going to come out of the zone. Puck is dumped deep in. Hubbard's got it and chips it up to Russo. Not able to get it. Oh, it does come out of the zone. Nice. And go for icing. And just about 32 seconds left here in the penalty. All right, we'll have Albert and Wolf come in at D. We'll have Lukes and Myers up front. And puck comes out of the zone. Up and out. No icing. Nice stick there from Myers. And Wolf banks it up the boards. No icing again. And we are back to 5-on-5. Sorovi joined the play here from the bench. Okay. We'll have Bomer come on. Hubbard's out. Sorovi, Wilkevich, and Signs up front. Signs sends it behind the net. Bomer sends it up to Wilkevich. Up to Signs. Signs has it. Sends it back to Bomer. Quick shot. Nope. Gives it back to Signs. That's a goal. All right, 1-1. All right, Gentner's at center, Luchansky and Cones up front. Albert and Wolf back at D. And Albert's got it, puts it up the glass. Block there by Luchansky. That hurt. He's kind of hobbling a bit. Russo comes out for Luchansky, and Russo's going to go. Gets hooked a bit. No call. Russo gets hooked again there. And there'll be interference. Penalty shot here coming up. All right. Yeah, hook. All right, here we go. Oh, hits the post. Let's try Brighton. All right, so we'll play 5-on-5 here. We'll have Hubbard and Bomer out at D, Russo, Myers, Lukes up front. Quick face-off win. Oh, Nixon almost got a shot off. Nice stop there from Riggs. Same lines, quick shot off the face-off, and Harris saves that. Face-off win, back to Bomer, over to Hubbard, up to Russo, up to Myers. Up to Luke's. That comes back to Hubbard. Banks it off the board, back to Hubbard, and that's going to be icing. All right. What's that?
I think it's froze.
See if I can get it working again here in a minute. Robert's back with it. Wolf sends it over to Vukcevic. Signs has it. That's nice. should be working again. It shows it's green. Hopefully it popped back up. But. All right, we'll have Hubbard and Bomer in at D. Gentner at center, Serovi and Cones at wing. Looks back to Bomer, shot, and okay. Cone shoots. Albert dumps it in. Got Luchansky, Myers up front along with Luke's. Still Wolf and Albert back at D. That's out of the zone. Back in. Next back to Hubbard. And blocked. It still froze, or still?
I think they said it came back on. Yeah, they said it's starting again.
It's good. Okay, all right, cool. All right, we'll have Bomer and Hubbard back at D. Signs, Russo, Lukevich up front. Play there from Bomer. Send back around to Hubbard. Signs to Bomer. Bomer up to Russo. Nice. Russo makes the play. And we've got Albert and Wolf in at D right now. Oh man, that almost went in. Nice save from Harris. About a minute left, and that's going to go down for an ice. No ice because it hits the goalie. And we get Bomer and Hubbard in at D. Gentner, Serovi, Cones up front. Gentner over to Cones. Gain the zone, tries to get it passed back. Bomer chips it up to Gentner. And Gentner gets it deep into the corner. We got about 30 seconds left in the period here. Nice play there from Bomer. And Gentner sends it wide to Cones. All right. Enough for a change. We got about 10 seconds left here in the period. shuts that down. That should be it for the period here. All right. Tie game after 1. Start of the second here. I think they just unplugged the scoreboard and plugged it back in just to see if
Clear that power off.
all right, starting out the second period, we'll have Jack Hubbard, George Bomer back at D, Jack Myers in center, Nixon Lukes at right wing, and Thomas Lukevich at left wing. Lukes comes up with it, gets up to Myers. Bomer's back with it, chips it up to Lukes. And able to at least get it up and out of the zone. We got Bomer and Albert at D. Bomer blocks that shot. And Signs has it. Gets it up to Lukevich. Back to Signs. And Signs will take it deep while we finish out a change. Sends it around to Albert. Takes it to the center. Shot. Oh, hits Signs. So we've got Albert and Wolf back at D. Signs, Luchansky, and Clausen up front. More traffic in front of the net. Puck's dumped deep. Signs has it. Somehow was able to get that cleared out. Wolf goes off. Bomer comes on. Russo comes on. For Clausen. Comes back to Bomer. Oh. Bomer's got it. Tips it off the glass, bounces, and it's going to go up to Russo, just out of his reach. Albert just clears it up. He's due for a change for sure. That's nice. Yeah, Albert, when Bomer came on, Albert was trying to get off, but they switched sides and the puck came right to him. He wasn't able to get a change, so better to ice it in a situation like that than get caught tired. So we'll have Bomer and Hubbard out at D, Gentner, Lukes, and Russo up front. Gentner's got it. Nice chip there from Russo. Bomer sends it back to Lukes. And tries to get it centered, hits the stick. And Wojciech brings it in the zone. Well, a little bit of speed, little time to shoot. And, oh, nice scoring opportunity. That comes up to, that's a goal. That was loose. Goalie was trying to grab it. It kind of got by him. He was turning to try to cover it, and Tommy was able to hit it across the line. 2-1 game. Wolf and Albert back at D, Myers at center, Cones and Wojciech up front. Oh man, I thought that was going. Cones on the forecheck. Offsides. All right, we'll bring out Bomer and Hubbard. For D, Signs at center, Luchansky and Sorovi up front. To Sorovi, gets it across to Luchansky. Nice breakout there. Luchansky skates it in, drives the net, shot, just misses. Back to Hubbard, dumps it low. Two. All right, Wolf and Albert back at D, Lukes, Russo, Gentner up front. It's up to Russo. Slow to get up. It's all right though. say no icing on that we could have played it. And Rig will cover that. We'll have Bomer and Hubbard at D, Myers, Wilkevich, and Cones up front. Offsides. Net. Bomer sends it around to Cones. Kevich is able to intercept that, gets it out of the zone. Over to Bomer, up to Cones, and up to Cones. By himself, nice toe drag, but gets it deep at least here. All right, Albert and Wolf back at D. Big shot from Signs there, gets blocked by a shin guard. Played by Albert there. All right, Luchansky, Sorovi, Gentner up front. And Albert and Wolf back at D. Gentner up to Luchansky. Up to Gentner, and still in at the blue line, and Harris covers it. All right, we'll bring in Bomer and Hubbard at D, Russo, Lukes, and Myers up front. Got it, ships it up to Luke's, weird bounce off the boards. Hubbard's got it, sends it up to Luke's. Pass to Myers, hopped over a stick though. Lukes has a toe drag shot, safe from the goalie. Puck's back to Bomer. He's looking, sends it up to Luke's. Bomer's got it, sends it to Luke's. And tries to get it deep, but can't. Bomer's gonna get stuck out there a little longer than he'd like. And that should be an icing. All right, good, we'll get a line change. We'll have Wolf and Albert at D, Gentner at center, Luchansky and Cones at wing. Quick shot. Oh, nice save there by the goalie. Kept in at the blue line. Gentner's got it. Back to Wolf, sends it over to Luchansky, tries to get it deep but can't. Oh, and we're gonna get a penalty against us for either interference or a check, one of the two. Albert go to the box. I don't really think that was intentional. He was going for the puck and kind of reaching out, and Fox Motors player didn't really have the room to go, but he went. What's that?
Signal on that?
Whatever. Yeah. All right, so we'll bring in Bomer and Hubbard at D, Russo and Myers up front. Bomer's got it, sends it up to Russo, banks it off the boards. That'll probably go down for an ice. Nope, maybe. All right, no icing. Fell just short of that. Nice play there from Russo. And Jack gets it in the zone. Play there from Russo, banks it off the glass. That'll go for an ice for sure. All right. Half that penalty's killed off. Bring in Hubbard and Wolf at D. Luke Signs up front. Oh man, that was a nice opportunity there from Fox Motors. Just missed the net. Penalty's over. We're now back to 5-on-5. Russo comes in off the bench. Hubbard's back with it. He's got Signs up if he sees them. And we're going to get Signs go to the box. for a cross check. All right, we're going to bring in Bomer and Albert at D, Gentner and Myers up front. Face-off win to Fox Motors. Fox Motors still with possession. Myers gets a stick on it, and nice glove there from Harris. We will change it up. We've got Hubbard and Wolf coming in at D. Russo and Wojciech up front. We got less than a minute left to go here in this period. Let's see if we can get out of it still with a tie. They wave off icing here. This penalty is going to take us pretty much to the end of the period. Goes into the corner with it and sends it down the ice, hits the ref's leg. Ooh, that probably hurt. Got it cleared out of the zone at least. Get it cleared, just get it out, get it out. There we go, that should be the period. All right. End of 2, score 2-2. All right, start of the third tie game. We'll have Jack Hubbard, George Bomer back at D, Roman Signs at center, Nixon Lukes, and Brighton Russo at wing. Face-off win, back to Hubbard. Oh, goalie hit it. Kept in at the blue line by Bomer, dumped in deep. Puck's out of the zone. All right, Luke's has it. Rest of them will go for a change. We'll get Gentner and Serovian. Wolf and Albert back at D. That may go for icing, and it goes. Hate when I do that. All right, Gentner, Luchansky, Serovi up front. Wolf and Albert back at D. Comes up with it, sends it over to Luchansky, and sends it in. We got Hubbard and Bomer coming in off the bench. And shipped up out of the zone. Gonna go for icing. Hubbard's back with it. Offsides. All right, Myers at center. Cones and Wokevich up front to Albert and Wolf back at D. Myers chips it up to Wokevich. Offsides. Hubbard and Bomer at D. Russo signs Luke's up front. Hubbard dumps it deep. Up to Luke's. And he's going to dump it in. We'll go for a change. Wolf's got it. Sends it back in. Over to Luchansky. goes out of the zone. All right, Sorovi's got it. Hits the ref's foot. Nice bounce for us. Got Albert and Wolf still in a D. Puck comes back to bad bounce there at the blue line. And nice save. All right, we'll bring in Hubbard and Bomer at D. Myers, Vukevich, Cones up front. Hubbard up to Vukevich, up to Myers. Myers shot, oh, rebound just out of Cones' reach. Bomer's got it. Sends it around to Hubbard. Puck's dumped in. We've got Albert and Wolf back at D. That's a trip. And we've got Signs with the puck. We've got all right. Well, power play here. We'll bring in Hubbard and Bomer at D, Signs, Lukes, and Russo up front. Has it behind the net, tries to get it centered, still loose, that's the goal. Russo. (3-2), that's power play goal. Puck squirted out from behind the boards. I think Lukes may have just sent it there, and Russo was right there and was able to tap it in down low. All right, 3-2 game. Toledo's up. Signs has it. It's through traffic. Back to Lukes, tries to get a shot off and misses. We've got Albert and Wolf in at D right now. And puck is cleared out of the zone. Offsides. Keep Albert and Wolf at D, Gentner at center, Vukevich at wing, and Luchansky at wing. Luchansky's got it. Dump it. Got Hubbard and Bomer in at D, and that is offsides. Gentner, Luchansky, Wojciech up front, Hubbard and Bomer at D. Gentner comes up with it along the boards, puts it up to Luchansky, just out of his reach. Serovian off the bench. Bomer's got it, sends it out. Got it, chips it up and out of the zone. Luke's over to Myers. Myers shot and goalie saves it. Save from Harris. And banked off the boards, kept in at the blue line. Wolf's got it, sends it up. But not out. And now it's out. Need to get it deep if we can, get a nice change. Perfect. Wojciech brings it in. Pass drops it to Signs. That's a goal. Russo. 4-2 game. Bomer and Hubbard, and at D, Gentner, Lukes, and Myers up front. Myers has it. Hubbard's back with it. Lukes chips it up the boards and out of the zone. And Gentner's got it. Dumps it deep. We got forwards changing out right now. Luke's down low with the forecheck, putting pressure on. Oh man, Russo and Signs both almost got a shot off. Signs just got leveled. We'll get a power play here. All right, we'll keep Albert and Wolf out at D. Signs, Russo, and Lukes up front. We got about 3 minutes left to go. About half of that will be on the power play. Puck's cleared out. Back to Albert. To Lukes. Russo tried to center it for Signs. Albert sends it in. Signs going to come up with it. Get both D change. Signs has it. Shot off the outside of the post. We got Bomer and Hubbard in at D right now. And bounces over some sticks and comes out of the zone. Bomer up to Luke's. And tries to shoot it. Can't get a shot off. Comes out of the zone. Hubbard over to Bomer. Bomer up to Luke's. Got Albert and Wolf come in at D. Oh, there we go. Puck's loose right in front of the net and cleared out. Nice. All right, we got an empty net right now. For Fox Motors, and Harris covers. All right, we'll bring in Bomer and Hubbard at D. Gentner, Wokevich, and Myers up front. Minute and 14 seconds left. Fox Motors with an empty net. And it'll be up to Wokevich and just sends it out. That'll be a nice. All right, same lines. All right, nice block there. Puck is out of the zone. Nice forecheck in there from Wokevich. Bomer's got it and just chips it up the boards. Puck's tied up there along the boards. And we send it into the corner. We got 10 seconds left. Oh, there's a cheap. All right, that's a win. Fox Motor player came in and hit Roman after the buzzer. Roman took the shot back and broken up. That's that. Huge win for Toledo. Probably our biggest game of the season in terms of competition. And they showed up. Great game. Maybe their best game of the season. These boys need to be proud of themselves after that. All right, we play again tomorrow at 2:30, 2 or 2:30, somewhere in there. So we will see you guys then.